You've probably heard this one before, maybe late at night with friends. What would actually happen if every single person on Earth jumped at the exact same time? It's one of those classic what if scenarios, but the answer? Well, it's way more catastrophic than you might think. So let's lay out the ground rules for this thought experiment. We're talking about every single person on the planet, all gathered in one spot, standing as close as they can. Then, on some unseen signal, they all jump and land at the exact same instant. Simple premise, right? But oh boy, the consequences are anything but. First, you gotta wrap your head around the sheer number of people we're talking about here. Not a city, not a country, the entire population of Earth. All 7.8 billion of us just magically transported to one single location. Ready for this? Grand experiment. And where would we all fit? Well, turns out you could pack all 7.8 billion people shoulder to shoulder into an area roughly the size of Rhode Island. So picture that. A single U.S. state turned into one giant planet-wide crowd waiting for the signal to jump. Okay, so what happens to the planet itself? You've got billions of people landing at once. Is that going to cause a massive, world-ending earthquake? Or maybe, just maybe, knock us clean out of orbit? Let's look at the physics. So really, this all comes down to a pretty mind-boggling difference in scale. It's not even a fair fight. On one side, you have the combined weight of every human being on the planet. And on the other side, you have, well, the entire Earth. Yeah, to put a number on it, the Earth outweighs all of humanity by a factor of more than 10 trillion. We are, and I mean this in the most literal sense possible, not even a drop in the bucket. We're like a single molecule in a colossal ocean. So after all our synchronized effort, all 7.8 billion of us jumping, the force of that jump pushes the Earth down by less than the width of a single atom. The landing creates a tiny pulse of energy, sure, but it's only enough to make a few sensitive seismometers barely wiggle. The planet? It doesn't even notice. So the jump itself? Basically, nothing happens to the planet. But this is where the real story begins, the human story. It all starts the moment our feet touch the ground. So what happens to us? You get this immediate cascading failure of our modern world. First, there's this massive roar as billions of feet hit the ground, and then an eerie silence. What happens next? Everyone almost instinctively reaches for their phone, and in that instant, the global communication network just collapses. It buckles under an impossible load. We are all together, but now we're all completely, utterly alone. With all communication just gone, and with factories and power plants and everything else across the globe grinding to a halt, there's only one single primal thought that takes over every single person's mind. How do I get home? And the reality is a complete logistical catastrophe. Our entire transportation system, our whole world, is built for people to be spread out. It's totally useless here. Airports, trains, ships, highways, they're all instantly and completely overwhelmed. There is, quite simply, no way out. You know, as a quick and kind of bizarre little aside, the source material does make a point to note that TF Green Airport in Rhode Island has some really nice bathrooms. I guess that's a small, very strange comfort in the middle of total world-ending chaos. Okay, so if escape is impossible for, basically everyone, the situation on the ground deteriorates with terrifying speed. The very fabric of civilization just begins to unravel. This isn't a slow decline, it's a complete societal collapse in fast forward. The odds of two random people meeting being able to speak the same language are incredibly low. Food and water, gone in hours. Sanitation, healthcare, they just cease to exist. All the complex systems that we rely on every single day are just gone. And the outcome? Well, it's as grim as it is inevitable. This massive concentration of humanity becomes our own undoing. Our species will probably stagger on, somewhere else in the world, but the population is decimated. Civilization as we know it has absolutely ended. So, after all that chaos, right, the collapse of global society, the absolutely tragic loss of life, what was the final result of our big jump? Let's tally the score. And this right here, this is the crucial point. This thought experiment was never really about geophysics or moving the planet. It was always about our own fragility. In the end, we engineered our own destruction. And the Earth? It just kept on spinning,
completely, totally unmoved. Which really leaves us with this one final, sobering thought that just perfectly sums the whole thing up. It's a stark reminder that our greatest strength, our massively interconnected global civilization, is also, under just the right circumstances, our most profound and terrifying vulnerability.